Thank you very much, Mr. Yori. I think the first thing which I try to raise is to acknowledge President Asuwaju for the humility to reduce his pronouncement in the October 1 broadcast to proposals which were presented to Labour. And that being the case, I think the next commendation is also to Labour for seizing that opportunity to engage the issues and table additional proposal, which led to the new atmosphere that facilitated the agreement that was reached, which made it also possible for the NLC and TUC to withdraw the threat of the strike that should have commenced yesterday.
Indeed.
I think this provided a new template in terms of government-labor relations. And I think by my own reading of the situation, we need to focus more in terms of sustainability. This kind of template need to continue to guide the relationship between government and labor. And for that to be sustainable, I think first and foremost, we need to appreciate the factor of negotiation between government and labor has to be a constant issue. It's not only when there are disagreements that negotiation should happen. I think negotiation should be a constant issue. Right now, I can see, and which is a very positive thing, when the agreement was signed between government and labor, 1 month was given within which to ensure that implementation of what is agreed has started. And I think while that is important is that it pushed government to really sustain the current tempo of negotiation. Look, Mr. Yorim, I keep arguing the value of democracy is about negotiation. Remove negotiation out of democracy, you end up with the problem of lack of harmony between citizens and government. And that has been the bane of Nigeria over the years. And we need to start moving away from that. Why I consider the current template, the template that led to the agreement, as something that we must build on, is that it also gives the government of Asuwaju an opportunity to use that template to develop relationship with all interest groups in the country. Okay. It's not only labor. Okay. Even in the context of implementing the current agreement, for instance, the power of Asuwaju's government is more in terms of administering the agreement on federal employees. There are other layers of employees, state governments, local governments, and even private sector employees. How do we use this template to ensure that the agreement is expanded to cover all these sectors? And my first argument is that we need to use the template to begin to negotiate more substantive issues. Because what are the substantive issues? The substantive issues is not about administering current resources. The substantive issues is about creating conditions that will lead to the expansion of the revenue base of government and all employers of labor. Because at the end of the day, what does workers want? They want higher pay. Employers and government can only afford higher pay based on their earning capacity. Now, if you look at the budget, and this is my argument, if you look at the budget of Nigerian federal government, it's about 21 trillion naira, which translates to about $30 billion. Now, similar countries at the level of Nigeria's development are operating budget of over $200 billion. Now, you can argue by that Nigeria is only spending about 10% of its capacity. So the capacity of Nigeria's spending can be expanded tenfold, for instance. How do we use the current template of engagement between labor and government to be expanded to cover all employers so that there is a commitment in terms of what needs to be done to expand the revenue base of both government and all employers? And that will have to now lock in the issue of productivity. We cannot take all these things for granted. Ideally, negotiation in terms of increased earning of workers should find its bearing in terms of what what workers are able to produce. Now, all this over the years, largely on account of some received wisdom that has come to dominate public conversation in Nigeria, we tend to imagine that government has all the resources. It's not true. Now we need, and this is why, as a government produced by a party envisioned to be progressive, these are the substantive issues. I say this all the time, and I am a proud member of APC, not because APC is developed to the point that it is doing all the right things, but it has the potential. We need to continue to engage our leaders. We need to continue to engage ourselves as citizens to get things right so that our democracy translates to becoming both representative and responsive to the interests of Nigerians. I think this will be my take on all the issues.